my name is Emma Furukawa. I am a rising senior in the ballet program at the School of Dance in the U of U. I identify as a Japanese American. I grew up in North Carolina most of my life, and I just moved out here for college. So in the ways of food, my Japanese identity comes out very heavily with the usage of rice, white sticky rice more specifically. For me to constitute something as being a meal, it has to have white rice in it. So it doesn't matter if it's just a bowl of rice with a fillet of salmon, like I would constitute that as being a meal because there's white rice in it. And similarly, since I grew up in America, I would say that pasta is also a meal. If it's pretty big in portion, I also would consider bread with soup as a meal since it has that big carbohydrate in it. But the easiest way for me to consider something as being a meal is for it to have a white rice, and that's primarily because as I was growing up, my mom would make traditional Japanese meals, and that's how it would be. It would be white rice with okazu, which is like either vegetables, meat, something that has flavor in it that you can eat with the white rice. Ever since I came out here as a college student, I realized that the way I prepare rice is also a part of my identity. Like, I didn't really realize it until I did this assignment, but the way I prepare rice is that I would, measure out the proper amount of rice in milliliters, not ounces, not cups, milliliters. And I think that's a very Asian part of me. I would first measure it out, put it in the pot, and then I would rinse the rice. And I think that's a very specific rice preparation way for Asians, because I noticed that my American friends never rinse rice. They just throw the rice into a pot and then throw water into it and then boil it. Boom, rice. At least in Japanese culture, there's a saying in how you prepare the rice. It roughly translates to, at the beginning, it's a little like bubbly, and it's a lot of onomatopoeias, I guess. So it's basically describing like a little bit of simmering, and then by the end, it should be boiling over. At the end of the day, you should not remove the lid, even if your baby is crying from being hungry, until the rice is done. You gotta finish the rice, guys. So since I am kind of focusing on talking about rice that is important to my identity, I kind of want to go into the history or the language of rice in Japan. The word for cooked rice is gohan, right here. I'm just gonna show it right here. But this word characters also represent what we call a meal. Lunch we would call hirugohan, or dinner we would call bangohan. So it'll be like noon gohan, and that'll be lunch, and night gohan would be dinner because it's eaten at night. And that kind of symbolizes how important rice was in Japanese culture and to the Japanese food culture. If you think about the way rice was cultivated, it was very community supporting. There were multiple families involved in a field of rice farms, and they would all share one irrigation systems usually. Even farming or planting these rice plants required a lot of community work, usually involving a lot of family members. I'll put a picture right here if you can see, but when they are first planting the rice plants into the water, they would all just make a line like that and just go one at a time. So that's how it would be straight in a grid-like system when you plant the rice. Rice was also used as currency back in the day. If you ever watched the History of Japan video, it talks about how people with a lot of rice farms built up rice kingdoms, and that's how they became king of their respective feudal properties. Rice was very important. A fun fact, the kanji, or the characterization of America, is Beikoku. I'll type it up right here. Be is rice, and then koku is country. So for some reason, America is rice country. I probably need to do a bit more research on it, but I believe it's because there's a lot of fields, and that's why the Asians believe that there's a lot of rice there. but it's actually grain. Or it could be symbolic of how important Japan thinks about America. I kind of think that's kind of might be it. Thank you for watching my little rant on rice and how much I love it and how much it's important to my culture. I hope you learned something about rice. Basically, that's the goal of this video. Thank you for watching.